So, welcome again, guys. Today we are going to start chapter number 4, that is your fundamental rights, and part 1. Now, here are some images that you can see on your textbook. These children are standing and they are saying that education is our right. These are some workers, so we must get assurance of minimum wage, so it is our right. So they are saying that minimum wage, that is minimum money that they require for their job. Now here is a tribal woman. They are saying that we have the right over our forest and its resources. So these are some rights of the individuals that these fundamental rights chapter is talking about. Now we will see what is this fundamental rights. Now there is a paragraph here in the orange color. You must be aware of the children rights. Can you name two important children rights? So it is a very important question. Can you name some rights for children's? We are aware of term like women's right, rights of tribal, rights of farmers, and so on. There emerged some questions regarding these rights. So, what are the rights of farmers? What are the rights of women? What are the rights of the tribals? So, these are some questions. What are the uses of rights? Right? What are the uses of rights? Do they have to be given by somebody? Can rights be taken away? If rights are taken away, who should we contact for redressal? So these are some questions that we are going to answer in this chapter, right? So let's start. Now, you must have seen such placards in newspaper and elsewhere in a rally or a march. Sometimes a certain demand is made asserting it to be their right. We get a right at birth. Every newborn baby has a right to live. The entire society and the government takes efforts to ensure that the baby is in the best of health. Only when all individuals get protection from injustice, exploitation, discrimination, and deprivation will they be able to develop their skills and equalities qualities. Demanding one's right is insisting on creating an atmosphere conducive to the development of the self as well as the entire society. So why the rights are important? Rights are important for the development of entire society, to create a conducive atmosphere for development of entire society, to get protection from injustice, exploitation, discrimination, deprivation. That's why we need rights. The Indian Constitution, now this is important, the Indian Constitution has guaranteed equal rights to all citizens in order to create this conducive atmosphere. These rights are fundamental rights. Now, these are what fundamental rights. Now, as they are included in the Constitution, they have status of law. Now, these are included in our Constitution. That's why they are basically law. It is imperative for everybody to abide by these rights. So we have to follow and abide by these rights, right? Now, use your imagination and write. Okay. Do you have pet animals like dogs, cats, cows, buffaloes, or goats? You surely take good care of them and love them. If these animals could speak, what rights do you think they would ask from you? So this is a very interesting and very good imagination. So now moving on, our rights as mentioned in the Constitution. Now let us understand the rights of Indian citizens included in the Constitution. Now first is your right to equality. What is this right to equality? Now let us study. According to right to equality, the state, that is The state cannot discriminate among citizens as a superior slash inferior or as men, women, and cannot give different treatment or privileges to anybody. So basically, it is saying that the state of Maharashtra or the government at the center, they cannot treat or they cannot discriminate between superior, inferior, man, women, or they cannot give different treatment for privilege or privileges to anybody. So the same laws apply equally to all. Many laws give us protection. For example, we have protection from arrest without warrant. So, if some police inspector comes to your house and he wants to arrest you, but he doesn't have a warrant, that is, warrant is a formal letter of arrest. If he doesn't have that letter, then he cannot arrest you because on that letter there are some charges mentioned on what basis you are being arrested, on what basis of violation of law that you are being arrested. So if the police doesn't have the warrant, then they cannot arrest, right? Also, the state cannot discriminate while extending such protection. Now, now let us discuss what are the advantages of equality before law and equal protection of law. So basically, if the state or the government treats everybody equal, then there are some advantages, right? And to protect these laws also, it is very important. Now, moving on, what other things are included in right to equality? So now we'll see what are the other things that are included in right to equality. The state cannot discriminate against So the state cannot discriminate against any citizen on grounds of religion, caste, sex, descent, race, place of birth, or residence for government employment. The inhuman practice of untouchability. So there was a practice of untouchability in the past that was prevalent in our country. So it was very prevalent in our country, very much prevalent, has been abolished by law. So by law, it has been abolished. The practice of untouchability in any form is a cognizable assent offense. So it is a offense basically. So if someone practices untouchability, it is an offense. This practice has been abolished in order to establish equality in Indian society. So to establish equality in Indian society, the practice of untouchability has been abolished. The constitution has also abolished titles. What are these titles? Like the title for king, queen, etc., that create an artificial hierarchy among people. For example, titles like Raja, Maharaja, Rao Bahadur, etc., have been abolished. Now, do you know the Constitution prevents the state from conferring titles that nurture inequality and draws wedges in social unity? But the state does confer awards like Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, etc., for distinguished contribution in different fields. Bharat Ratna is the greatest civilian honor or award for our country. Now, medals of honors like Paramveer Chakra, Ashok Chakra, Shaurya Chakra are awarded for remarkable service in armed forces. Such awards doesn't bestow any special rights or privileges upon those who receive them. It is only a recognition for their contribution. Now we move to second, that is right to liberty. This is a very important right given by the Constitution. It gives a guarantee to all the freedom necessary from the point of view of individual. So liberty is basically all the freedom that one has, individual has. As an Indian citizen, we have the right to first we have right to freedom of speech and expression. We have right to freedom of assembly peacefully, freedom to assemble peacefully, freedom to form associations or unions, freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India. Right now, we have freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India, freedom to practice any lawful professions or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business of one's choice. So, right to liberty is basically we have freedom to do all these things, right? Now, there is an activity do this. Following are the action of A, B, C. Which kind of freedom do you connect with them? A established Adivasi Cooperation Forum to solve the problems of tribal people. So it is a right to form associations, right? So freedom to form associations. Now B decided to move his father's bakery production from Goa to Maharashtra. So this is right to reside in any part of the country. C found some lacuna in the new tax policy of government. He wrote an article about it and sent to the newspaper for publication. So it is a right to freedom of speech and expression basically. Now there is activity. Do you know the constitution has given us many rights, but we have to exercise these responsibly. We should take care that others do not get affected by our behavior. We have the freedom of expression, but we cannot speak or write anything that might incite anybody to violence. Now, moving on, the right to liberty in the Constitution has guaranteed us the freedom of speech, movement, and it has also provided us security to keep us safe. This legal protection has been given to everybody equally. Now, it is not denied to anybody. For example, we all have the right to life. So, we have right to life. It appears to be simple, but it has a deep significance. It implies getting a guarantee to live, availability of conducive environment for living. Nobody can take away another's life. ठीक है? So nobody can take away your life. No person can be arrested, detained without any reason. So there must be a reason for arrest. Now think about it. There are some rights supplementary to the right to life. For example, nobody can be punished twice for the same offense. Before being punished, the allegations against a person have to be proved. The courts have to perform these tasks. The police collects evidence against the accused, put up the case in the court. Even if a person accepts that he has committed a crime, he is not punished immediately. The allegations have to be proved legally. This judicial process takes time, but it is necessary so that an innocent person does not get punished. Now, the right to liberty now also includes the right to education. Now, all children between 16 to 14 years of age are entitled to get education as a fundamental right. This ensures that no child will be deprived of education. Now, right against exploitation. The right against exploitation implies the right to prevent exploitation. While the Constitution has banned all types of oppression, through the right against exploitation, it has made a special provision to prevent the exploitation of children. Accordingly, it has prohibited to employ children under 14 years of age in hazardous places. Children cannot be employed or made to work in factories and mines. Exploitation includes bonded labor or forcing somebody to work against his or her wish, treating somebody like a slave, right? Now, denying them legitimate compensation, making them do excessive, strenuous work, starving them or ill treating them. Now, generally, women, children, the weaker section of society, and powerless people are exploited. This right enables us to stand up against any kind of exploitation. Now, let us discuss. Children are not employed here. Work are paid daily here. You see such boards in shop and hotels. In what way they are related to the above rights in the constitution, right? So first, you cannot employ children under the age of 14 in uh, hazardous works. Workers are paid daily, like minimum wage should be paid to the workers. So these are some rights of the people. Now let us discuss. The government has made many laws in order to prevent exploitation and to enable every individual citizen to enjoy their freedom. Some laws have been mentioned below. Find out if there are more such laws and discuss them. First is Minimum Wages Act. Provisions related to working hours, rest hours, etc. in factories. So this is a Minimum Wage Act. Now, second is the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. So domestic violence is prevalent in Indian society. That's why women need to be protected. That's why these are the laws. In this chapter, we studied the rights to liberty, equality, and the right against exploitation. In the next chapter, we shall study some more fundamental rights in the Constitution. So there is this exercise. Now there is an activity, interesting activity. Collect news clippings about certain important rights like right to information, right to education, etc. If you find small children working on construction sites in your neighborhood, talk to them and their parents about their problems and present the problem in your class. So these are very interesting activity. Thank you for listening.